I always say selling on Alibaba.com is kind of like being at like 5 trade shows at once.
We've been able to seal a lot of deals just using the platform.
About 50 to 60%. My export business comes from Alibaba.
Growing from doing one order to doing 20 or 30 orders in a 1 or 2 month period, the platform speaks for itself. That's just weight in gold.
I mean, when you do a good job with Alibaba.com, buyers from everywhere around the world, they will know about you. And I can now develop and export my product in over 45 countries.
Once I started with Alibaba, I was able to reach people all across the world, like Tanzania and Kenya and Africa and the UK and Germany.
I'm selling product in UAE, Saudi Arabia, Great Britain, and a host of others. I wouldn't have reached those customers without Alibaba.com.
Selling on Alibaba.com has gotten easier than ever, introducing our new flexible payment plan options. When you sign up for an Alibaba.com seller membership, choose between paying annually or quarterly. Regardless of which plan you choose, get the same seller service and all-encompassing suite of features that make us the world's leading online B2B marketplace. With 0% commission taken on sales, keep the customer relationships you make and profits you win. Conduct business the way you want to. Build the business you've always wanted, now with more flexibility than ever. Let's make it easy to do business anywhere.
Sell on Alibaba.com.
They made the onboarding process very, very easy. Once I paid my fees, after that, I don't need to worry about anything. If you have a product and you want to sell in international market, I would say you should not wait. You should just reach out to Alibaba.
We've been able to seal a lot of deals just using the platform. The best thing that Alibaba does really is the support that you get, because it's a whole new world once you get on the platform. Eric Cross and his team, they really helped me and my team navigate the website, you know, what to do, what not to do, the best practices. So that really, to me, is like one of the greatest assets to being on the platform.
I think US-based sellers have a huge opportunity, specifically because there aren't that many of them. And we had a dedicated customer service success manager who was incredibly knowledgeable about the platform. And he honestly almost became a teammate. And I have no doubt that anyone else who is going through that process is going to have a similar experience.
Alibaba.com team is absolutely amazing. They were always there, making sure that I understand the platform. They were smart, very reactive whenever I had a question, and they were so patient. And as I continue to grow the business, they continue to connect me with experts to help me with specific business questions.
Why we got such a fast sale, I would attribute it to Alibaba's onboarding team. They've done a really great job building our store for us. And that's one of the reasons why we're so successful, is they know what they're doing, so we trust them to do their job.
Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar today. My name is Jessica Chen and I'm a marketing manager here at Alibaba.com North America. Today our webinar is called The Future of Supply Chain and E-commerce, Leveraging Insights from Industry Leaders. And first off, before we start, I wanted to first ask a few questions about you and learn about who's actually joining us here today. So first question. Okay, so you might have heard of Alibaba.com before, and if you have, what are you thinking of doing on Alibaba.com? Many people like to use us to source their products. I think that's what we're most known for, but also if you have something to sell, it'd be cool to know. Thank you so much for participating. Okay. We're gonna give you a few more seconds. It's really cool right now to see how many people are looking to both be sellers and buyers on the platform. I think it's one of the coolest parts. It's like there's a lot you can do. Okay, so lots of results rolling in. Yay! It's always really cool to see who's here. So as you can see, there's like a great deal of you who are trying to both sell and source products, but also some people here who are looking purely to sell, which is really cool. Okay, so let's learn more about your business. Presumably, if you're here, you're a business owner. So what kind of business are you? Do you manufacture? Are you a wholesaler or distributor? Are you a retailer of your own brand? Or do you do other things? Please let us know. It's really cool to see what people are up to. Okay, so I'll give you a few more seconds. Hopefully everyone's doing well today. Alrighty, here we go. So as you can see, a whole lot of you are wholesalers and distributors, which is really cool because wholesalers and distributors tend to do very well on our platform, but so do manufacturers and retailers. And you can use the platform in different ways to help your business expand. And finally, what would you like from us for this session? Because this will help us understand from what direction you're trying to learn from us. Today's presentation is a lot about supply chain disruption and about how e-commerce can help you navigate those changes and adapt. But also because Alibaba.com is an online B2B platform, sometimes it's cool to know if there's any particular area you want help with. We can try to help address your questions here. By the way, there is a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. At any point during this presentation, you can submit questions. And if it can be about general Alibaba.com stuff or things that are specifically addressed in this session, but you can ask those questions at any time, and there will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation where we will address all of your questions live. And we have some wonderful speakers who are very knowledgeable. Okay, so here we go. Oh, it seems like quite a few of you are actually very interested in our Verified Supplier program. That's really interesting. And also a great deal are also interested in how to just market your business using Alibaba.com. Our platform has a huge buyer base, so knowing how to stick out and also address these buyers in the most effective way is actually super important to having success. So here we go. Thank you so much for participating in our poll. Once again, there's the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. You can always address our questions there. All right. Here we go. So before we start, here's a quick introduction to our platform. Hope you enjoy. Unleash infinite business opportunities with Alibaba.com, the world's largest online B2B marketplace. With over 40 million active buyers, 300,000 daily inquiries, important business deals are being made around the world all the time using our platform. Best of all, we take 0% commission on your sales. By signing up as an Alibaba.com supplier, you keep the money you earn. Professional onboarding services can get you started faster and with less stress than ever. Take advantage of classic Alibaba.com features, such as attracting buyers from over 200 countries and regions to your online store, where they can reach out with inquiries about your products. There's also no need to worry about language barriers. We translate your store messages into 15 languages so you can communicate with the world with ease. Proactively net orders by browsing and responding to sourcing requests on the Request for Quotation or RFQ market. Any relationships you gain from reaching out to sourcers on the RFQ market are yours. Finally, attain exclusive data-driven insights and 24/7 customer support from our team right here in the USA. We'll help guide you to success using proprietary insight gained from our over 20 years in online B2B sales. Because of these features, Alibaba.com has become the wholesale B2B platform trusted by US suppliers. Grow with us no matter your business type. Now it's easier than ever to start selling with our new flexible payment options. Let's make it easy to do business anywhere.
Sell on Alibaba.com.
Hey. Thank you. I hope that was helpful in understanding what our platform is like. First, here's what were the contents of our presentation today. So first, we're going to have our wonderful head of business development in North America, Mattia Miglio, talk about Alibaba.com, Alibaba the group, but also what is specifically Alibaba.com and how it fits into everything. And also Alibaba.com and the supply chain, how you can use our platform to overcome challenges when the supply chain is disrupted. And also we have our very special guest, Ameann DeJohn, who's the CEO and founder of Media Lab Science, who will come in and also talk about supply chain and e-commerce. And finally, we will go into our explanation of the Alibaba.com Verified Supplier Program, and that will be done by our wonderful enterprise account executive, Ben Gilroy. And finally, we will have our Q&A session. As I mentioned before, if you have questions at any point, please put them in the Q&A box so they don't get lost, and we will address them at the very end. But yeah. And then without further ado, I want to introduce our speakers today. Please turn on your cameras. Hi, Mattia. How are you doing today? And hello, Ameann.
Hi, Jessica. Thanks for the introduction.
Yay. Hopefully you guys are ready for this really wonderful webinar today.
Yes, we are.
Yes. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to Mattia.
Okay. Thanks, Jessica, and thanks everyone for being here today with us. It's my pleasure to have Ameann from Media Science Lab with us today. As many of you know, the beauty industry for me has a special place in my heart, since I worked for one of the major trade show organizers before joining Alibaba.com. As you can hear from my accent, I'm from Italy. I just joined the US team here in Alibaba, and I hope to bring the expertise that I gain in my European experience at Alibaba.com here into the US market, and support all sellers and buyers from US to sell and source on a global scale. So thanks again, everyone, for being with us today. You can scan the QR code that you can see behind me to schedule a meeting with me or with our team. So first of all, Alibaba.com. Let me take you on a journey that started in 1999 when Alibaba.com was founded to support Chinese businesses to go global. Today, we are a global platform, part of Alibaba Group. Alibaba Group has different companies, as you can see from this slide. Alibaba.com is the B2B e-commerce platform that supports global buyers and global sellers to sell and source in different markets. And I will tell you more about Alibaba.com in few minutes. Our mission in Alibaba Group is to make it easy to do business anywhere in the world. So today, I will take you into the future of the supply chains, and I will deep dive on the major challenges that sellers and buyers are facing today. And we have an esteemed guest, Ameann DeJohn, a veteran of the beauty industry and a member of the Media and Clinical Testing Lab, Media Science Lab, and she will share with you invaluable expertise on the impact of validation, especially in the beauty industry. In addition to our insights, Ben in Alibaba.com, in our office in New York, will tell you more about the Verified Supplier program. So today we will talk about the supply chain and how the supply chain is changing today, and how validation, certification are crucial to do business globally. And Ameann will discuss about this, but also Ben will introduce you a new membership in Alibaba.com that is the Verified Supplier program. So let's go into what is Alibaba.com. Alibaba.com stands at the forefront as the leading B2B e-commerce platform for global trading. Today, I will be guiding you through our various tools designed specifically for sellers and buyers to sell globally. Many of you probably are very familiar with the B2C B2C e-commerce and do not know that B2B e-commerce value is estimated to be 6 times larger today. And as you saw in the video, for US sellers, it represents a huge opportunity. So our platform is the leading platform. But why? Let's take a look to the numbers of our platform. So we have more than 30 million active buyers. When I say active buyers, it means that they have logged in the last 30 days in our platform. And they come from 200 countries and regions globally. So that's why we are a leading B2B e-commerce platform, because there is no other platform that has so many buyers from such many countries. We are global. And we have more than 200,000 companies from 75 countries. As I said, I started my journey in Alibaba.com in Europe, where we supported thousands of European sellers to onboard on Alibaba.com. If you logged in, if you browse Alibaba.com, you will find at the bottom of the home page different country pavilions. So you can also search our seller based on the country of origin, and based also on the industry. We cover more than 40 industries and 5,900 categories. So we are a global platform, the leading B2B e-commerce platform, thanks to our global reach. And this diversity will guarantee your company to success globally, to succeed globally. So now let's take a look into the specific of the demographic of our buyers. As you can see from this slide, our buyers come from different countries, as I said, from 200 countries and regions. And the top nations are USA, UK, Canada, and Australia. In addition to these markets, we also witness significant activity from countries within the European Union, Latin America, and Middle East. So if you are a seller, a manufacturer, I saw that many of you are manufacturers, you can find buyers from all these countries, from all these markets. And also, as I said, we are a global platform because our sellers are from 40 industries, and we cover 5,900 categories. And based on the country, we have top selling industries, and you can find here some specific. But let's go down today to the topic of today's webinar, Alibaba.com and the supply chain. First of all, I would like to talk to you about the current landscape of international trade, particularly focusing on the United States. As we navigate through a never-changing economic environment, it's crucial to understand the dynamics of international trade and the opportunity it presents. In recent years, as you all know, international trade has experienced remarkable growth. Despite potential challenges, the United States has been at the forefront of this growth. As of May 2023, the total trade with all countries was 430 billion, reflecting a year-to-year growth of 7.7 from 2022. The United States' top trading partners are Mexico, Canada, and China, accounting for 15.9%, 15.7%, and 10.8% of the total trade. As you can understand, our platform, having buyers from all over the world, can represent for you for US seller an opportunity to sell to these markets where we have an increasing numbers of buyers. I see that many of you are retailers, so also domestic trade is increasing a lot in our platform, especially due to the current challenges to logistic pricing increase and so on. So US B2B e-commerce, why it is important to understand how the B2B e-commerce sales are growing, because our platform is growing. I'm just back from a trip from China, and we will unveil in the next months some important updates in terms of sourcing and in terms of selling. We will introduce AI tools. We will update our website features, and it is so we are a global platform that keeps evolving, and we are evolving also because the US B2B e-commerce sales are growing. In this slide, you can see that the B2B e-commerce sales are expected to grow in the next years and reach 1.8 trillion of sales in 2023, with an expected growth to 3 trillion by 2027. And this represents a huge opportunity for sellers and buyers. It changes the way that buyers and sellers meet. So let's go into today's topic. As you can see from this slide, the first challenge for US sellers and buyers today are global supply chain disruptions. When I talk about global supply chain disruption, I talk about geopolitical conflicts. As you know, we have a war today in Europe that is changing the way of sourcing and selling on a global scale. We are facing also cybersecurity threats that are changing the way companies are selling globally, enhancing also the power of platform like Alibaba.com. And I will tell you more about also the support that we are giving to overcome these challenges. And also, many of you are buyers, so you can understand that there are also material access issues. So it is crucial for any company to overcome these challenges, and also transportation and shipping capacity. And also the labor costs are increasing. So all these global supply chain disruption need a solution. And I will tell you more about how Alibaba.com is improving and updating its tools to support sellers and buyers to overcome these challenge. And the second challenge, as I mentioned, is transportation and logistic. So many of you are facing transportation and logistic problems. So there are many of you that need to understand Incoterms internationally. Incoterms are recognized rules that define the responsibility of sellers and buyers in export transaction. Misinterpretation can lead to unexpected cost and liability. But also, and we will tell you more later on, there are regulatory changes. Each country today has unique import and export rules. So navigating these differences is crucial today for any company that is approaching global sales. and infrastructure and distance. Various transportation infrastructure across countries and the long distances involved in international trade can affect the speed and the reliability of transportations. And managing multiple modes of transport is also a challenge for many companies. And to stay updated on the different modes and transport is crucial for any company, especially here in the US. And the third challenge that I would like to talk about you today is quality control issues. Ensuring high quality product at every level of the supply chain is crucial today, and how to present and how to brand their certification and verification that a company is becoming crucial to sell globally. The first challenge is pricing problems, because many of you understand that it's not only inflation or changing of the rates from the central bank are affecting pricing, but also in each market a company needs to have different prices. So I will tell you on how Alibaba.com is solving and supporting companies with this pricing problem. And in the supply chain, as you know, in sourcing and to meet sellers globally, there is a last challenge that is insurance, payment terms, and business verification. And I will tell you later on how Alibaba.com is supporting sellers and buyers with different tools. And now, as I mentioned, the most important challenges for any company here in the US. But now let's look at the solution that Alibaba.com can give to these companies. First of all, global supply chain disruptions. In Alibaba.com, we support a company thanks to our global reach, as I mentioned. If you are a buyer and you're sourcing for products, it's very easy in Alibaba.com to find different suppliers. As I mentioned, we have 200,000 suppliers globally that can answer to your needs. If you are a buyer, you can also post a request for quotation in our platform and receive different quotation from various suppliers across the globe. And you can immediately overcome these challenges and select a better suppliers. And in terms of transportation and logistics, Alibaba.com provides SLS. If you are a buyer or a seller, you can browse our Seller Central and our Buyer Central. If you want to know more about these tools, you can scan the QR code here in the background, and we will tell you more about how Alibaba.com can support your businesses with live quotation on transportation. And quality control issues. As I told you, we will introduce you for the first time here in the US the Verified Supplier membership that goes in this direction to ensure buyers that our sellers are verified. And Ben will tell you more about this Verified Supplier program later on, but also certification. Alibaba.com promotes certification to enhance the quality assurance and build trust between buyers and sellers. Not only with a verified supplier, but for example, a buyer can search our sellers based on the product certification or the company certification. Is a very useful tool. For example, if you're looking for organic certified product, products, or if you are looking for a company that has ISO or different certification from the product and company side. But also, you can search our companies based on our star rating system. From 0 to 5 stars, you can understand immediately the quality of the product and of the company if you are a buyer. And if you are a seller, how can you understand the quality of the buyers? Alibaba.com has worked very hard to make sellers understand who the buyer are. So a seller can immediately see the level of our buyers. We have 5 levels, from level 0 to level 4, based on not only of the transaction that these buyers are doing in our platform, but also based on the feedbacks we receive from the sellers, but also based on the number of requests for quotation that our buyers post in our RFQ market, and based also on the efficiency, on the answers that they provide to our sellers. So if you are a seller and you want to understand who the buyer is, you can immediately understand thanks to this level. And now let's go to the following slide, Jessica, pricing problems. As I mentioned, Alibaba.com has very special tools to support sellers and buyers on a global scale. So a seller can have different pricing based on the market where it wants to sell. But also can have different sub-accounts. So for example, if you are a seller that has a distributor, for example, in Mexico, you can give a sub-account to your office or to your representative in that specific market, and all the requests from that market will go directly to this distributor or sellers in that country. You can fix the prices also on with different currencies. So a buyer in a specific market can understand immediately the price of your product. And the last challenge and how Alibaba.com is supporting sellers and buyers globally is our trade assurance, our different payment terms of our business verification. Because from today, July 19th, and Ben knows this very well, we are introducing a new business verification process for all our sellers. So if you are a buyer, you will immediately understand you will understand immediately if it is not only a seller on Alibaba.com, but if it is a verified seller and a verified supplier. We are enhancing these tools, as I mentioned, because we want to overcome the supply chain challenges that sellers and buyers are facing today, and also to build trust between sellers and buyers. As I mentioned, if you have any question, you can use the Q&A box here, and I will be more than happy to answer to your question. So in my presentation, I introduced the 5 most compelling challenges that sellers and buyers are facing today, and I gave you some solutions that Alibaba.com has to overcome these challenges. I hope it was useful, and now I give it back to Jessica. Thanks a lot.
Hello, thank you so much for the enlightening presentation about how Alibaba.com can help overcome all these challenges. So here we go. And now we're going to hand over the presentation to Ameann. Ameann, are you there? Yay.
Yes, I am. I'm
awesome.
going to be on camera in a second. As soon as we get there, we go.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. And feel free to share your presentation whenever you're ready.
Great. Do you want to go ahead and enable the sharing?
Yes. Hold on. Let me stop sharing.
And then, great, thank you. So my name is Ameann DeJohn, and I am the co-founder of Media Lab Science. I'm also an industry veteran, not only in the beauty industry from product development side, but also from the side of, let me just get my screen going here. Great, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So I have a really deep insight in supply chain as it relates to the beauty industry, but a lot of what I'm going to share today can be taken to any part of the industry. The biggest concern and the biggest driver is retailers asking for product immediately, or very large manufacturers needing supply chain immediately because they're trying to fulfill orders for large brands. We recently had a brand owner in our office, and it was going to cost him $16,000 to air freight 10 boxes from New York to LA. And it was a huge supply chain issue for him. And he didn't want to spend $16,000 to do that. So he actually flew to Omaha the very next day while somebody was driving from New York to Omaha to solve that problem. And he was able to only spend $4,000 having somebody drive it over. But supply chain is a big issue because the retailers and the large manufacturers and the large brands, they don't want to hear about our problems with supply chain because they have problems in making sure that they have their stores shelves stocked. So it really starts with those raw materials. Whether your raw material is a piece of thread, whether it's a piece of fabric, or whether it's an ingredient that goes inside product, it starts with that. What do you need to build your product? And a lot of brands are looking for something that's unique, that maybe is very popular. And that can really drive the timing for supply chain. So it's one of the hardest challenges is to create a product that's unique, to create something that no one else has. But when you do this, you could really incur long lead times because that ingredient or that particular product can take longer to build because no one else has it. And if you have a short time to market, you want to make sure that you have multiple sources. And in the past, whether it's beauty or other areas, it's always sort of been a secret to where to find the supply chain. Where do you go to find this unique peptide or cocoa butter? You had to be in the know. You had to be in the beauty industry. And one of the things, honestly, that has been enlightening in this area of supply chain is having sort of Alibaba bring everything out into the open. You can find and you can source things. You don't have to call someone who knows someone else to be able to get what you need. And if you're going to perform any type of clinical testing, if you're going to perform any type of validation or verification of your product, you need to follow that timeline. And if there's large shortages, it makes it really, really difficult. So a lot of our brands that we work with have been asking us to go to US-based suppliers. The problem with that has been, one, is the cost is extremely high. Two, there isn't very many vendors. And three, we can't get enough product. So it's really important to be able to go to suppliers that are verified through places like Alibaba so that you can get what you need in the time that you need it. What I did is I took some time to talk to a few key people in this industry, just to give you some insight about what is trending, what raw materials are saying versus what is actually happening. So the raw material could be something as simple as an ingredient, a peptide, a special cocoa butter, anything very unique. But one of the things you want to look for is to having redundancy in finding your ingredient or your product. And also looking, as mentioned earlier, into where that product is made. Because based on what's happening with the climate, what's happening politically, there could be huge delays in regulatory. And in addition to that, how long is it going to take? We all know about Chinese New Year and how long it takes to get a flight, to get things on, to get it in time, to have the product that you need. So how is it going to taste for trucking? How long is it going to take to get on the flight, to book that flight, to book the logistics, as well as the time of year, weather patterns, all of these things. And I think one of the things that I hear most about brands trying to create product is they don't think about all these things at the same time. And so it's really important when you're thinking of creating a brand or you're thinking of creating a product that you look at every single thing when you're sourcing, because it's the availability of these particular products and ingredients that make the biggest change. And you can have the best idea in the world, but if you can't source the ingredient, if you can't source the packaging, it can't come to market. And you can have huge chargebacks from the larger retailers because you did not get your product shipped in time. You could even lose your shelf space. And so making sure that you understand the lead time. In addition to that, so we contacted LEI, which is a contract manufacturer that specializes in sun care. And then we contacted Above Romaldi Labs. And these particular labs are working directly with the brands and the raw material suppliers. It's very, very difficult to source ingredients. And in addition to that, if you have 18-month lead time to create a product, you can't afford to have a 12 to 18-month lead time for a very specific, unique ingredient. But then the problem becomes, how do you create something unique? If you can't have a unique ingredient, how do you actually truly make something different? And so there are a lot of suppliers and brands that are now looking to innovate and create and source the ingredients themselves. And that becomes very time consuming. So I mentioned a little bit about coconut butter. So when we launched Clarisma Beauty, we didn't want to use coconut oil because everyone uses coconut oil. So I thought we would be so different, right? So I'm going to use coconut butter. Coconut butter is a harder butter. It's more unique. It's super hydrating. It's not oily. But I didn't realize, I didn't think about it, that it was going to have an 18-week lead time. And this was before COVID. So after COVID, the lead time was even longer. So I was to launch in CVS and Rite Aid at the end of 2020. I wasn't able to make both launches. I wasn't able to make the Rite Aid launch. So not only did I lose over $100,000 in business because I couldn't make the launch, I lost the potential of the Rite Aid business. And all because I thought it would be cool to have coconut butter in our products. Did it make our product that much better for the consumer? Probably not. I don't think the consumer said, ooh, I can't wait to get my hand on this product because it has coconut butter. And this is sort of the moral of this whole supply chain story. When you're creating a product and you're thinking about creating something unique, figure out, is it unique enough that people are going to wait for it? And how is that supply chain going to affect your overall distribution? Because again, the retailers, they have certain time periods that they're going to bring products in, and they're not going to wait for you. It doesn't matter what brand you are, they are not going to wait for you. So what is the best way to mitigate these long lead times if you do choose something that's super unique? One of the best ways is to obviously have great communication with your supplier. One of the problems is that a lot of the suppliers are also the salespeople, and they don't have all of the information. They have to go check with someone else. They have to go check with someone else. And your order can get bumped because someone else has a bigger order. And so having good relationships with your partners, with your suppliers, and having alternate suppliers as well is one of the best ways to mitigate long lead times, and potential out of stocks. And also, one of the biggest things that we have trouble with is not understanding the lead time that it takes not only to create the product, but to transport the product. And then really to decide if the project manager can fit this into scope, because most likely it's not just one ingredient. It's not just cocoa butter. It's 50 ingredients or 30 ingredients that you need to build this. So by ordering these and keep them in-house, you mitigate these long lead times. But in addition to that, it's also about availability. We talk a little bit about testing, and testing can do a couple of different things. One, it can prove that your product is effective, but two, it can prove that your product is safe. And so in the beauty industry, when we perform testing, we have to perform the testing on the exact product. So how does this sort of go into supply chain? So first you have to think about what ingredients you want to put into it, and then make sure that you can hit all of your key milestones. And one of the biggest milestones is performing that safety testing and efficacy testing. So it's really important that you have the right ingredients at the right time so you can perform all of your testing. Clinical testing is important because what happens is the consumers believe that your product is going to work because they can see the changes. They can visually see it in before and after photos, and they can visually see it in the percentages that change. But again, this is just part of the whole supply chain, is getting the ingredients, getting the packaging, and getting the product to shelf. It can add about 4 to 6 month lead time. Through consumer research, we have found that products that can be visually shown the results, it's much easier to connect with consumers. So as you're creating your brand, as you're creating your products, and I think that was very evident at the beginning of this webinar, we're able to see how many people really are using Alibaba, and that makes us believe that we can be successful too. So whether you're doing skincare, fashion, supply chain, having that person talk about the results makes it different. The biggest challenge, I was just on a webinar with WG, which is a platform that has beauty brands talking about the demands of retailers and the demands of e-commerce. What we're finding is that people want the proof behind the products. And this goes back to the very beginning, is you need to have ingredients that are special. You need to have ingredients that work, and you need to have formulas that can come to market. So there's a very unique link between e-commerce and the flexibility that you have with e-commerce versus the flexibility that you do not have with retailers. So when you're thinking of bringing this brand to market, you're not only thinking about supply chain, you're also thinking about how can I launch the brand in time without a lot of chargebacks. The biggest change that I have seen in the last, say, 2 to 3 years is supply chain, specifically as it relates to fulfillment. And I love that you had that slide earlier about logistics, because I have been working with many 3PLs that are now charging up to $5,000 a month just to work with them. That's a minimum. And so if you can find a third-party logistics supplier who does not charge a standard monthly fee minimum, that's what you want to look for. Because so not only do you have to worry about getting your ingredients from part A to point B, but then you also have to worry about, once the product is stored, having those minimum storage fees. So because logistics are sort of like king right now, they can charge whatever they need to in order to keep themselves in business. And so as you're looking for logistics, it's something to really look for. Last but not least is how you're going to package your product. I wanted to talk a little bit about supply chain as it relates to packaging. In the beginning, you have to know who to go to for packaging. Where can I go? You'd have to go to places like Cosmoprof or in cosmetics to find the suppliers and to find the packaging suppliers. It's now not necessary to go to every single show. because you can find things online. And so Alibaba is bringing that to market. So you can find unique packaging with lower MOQs, finding a verified supplier. So I was saying earlier before the webinar started that I now have brands that ask me, did you check Alibaba? I saw this on Alibaba. And I think that's pretty impressive. So especially when you're looking for a more unique supplier or somebody who has different minimum order quantities. So again, think about your raw materials, manage your timelines. Are you going to do any type of testing? Choose your packaging wisely. Always check alternative sources and cost, because if you're going through in packaging, if you're going through a US distributor who is sourcing the packaging from another country, you might as well try and go direct. And also think about the costs for the 3PL. And I think this leads right into Ben's.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. And we appreciate how much you incorporate Alibaba.com into your presentation. That's really cool. So yeah, thank you so much, Ameann. So now we're going to transition over to the verified supplier portion of this webinar. Hi, Ben. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. I'm going to share a screen. Here you go.
Awesome. So hi, everyone. My name is Ben Gilroy. I'm an enterprise account executive here in our New York office. And we're going to do a little deeper dive into our what it means to be a verified supplier here on the Alibaba platform. So as a verified supplier, or really anyone in Alibaba, one of the big motivators we're seeing in business these days is continually that trust makes business happen. And as we look into this online marketplace where, you know, you really want to make sure you're standing out as a supplier, being a verified supplier is one of those ways you can demonstrate your commitment to trust or your commitment to your brand and develop that trust with your buyers. So we provide an on-site verification service from a third-party inspection company that's going to give the customers an opportunity to put trust behind your brand. So going a little deeper into what that means, we have this third-party company, SGS, a world-leading reputable third-party certification company. And this assessment report is going to be available directly from your storefront. So from a buyer's perspective, it'll give them an insight into who you are as a brand and generally leading to greater trust to help generate some more high-quality leads for your business. On top of this, as a verified supplier, you'll have some additional benefits, including professionally shot photos and videos for your Alibaba.com storefront. This will be able to highlight your facility's quality and establish more credibility with your customers within an instant. And if you've spent some time shopping around through the Alibaba marketplace, you've definitely seen this verified badge pop up before. This verified badge really will help you stand out from the crowd with the verified logo visible to buyers in our search results. And this is one of the best ways that as a buyer, you can look for our most credible and trustworthy suppliers through the platform. So not only are you going to get the verified badge, you're going to be able to rank above your competitors as a verified supplier through the Alibaba.com marketplace. And this will help you expedite some growth more efficiently in your beginning of your Alibaba journey, but as well as you continue to work through the Alibaba platform. So one of the other ways you're able to search rather than just a regular search bar is our Find Manufacturers portal. And this is a great way the verified suppliers will actually just pop up first in the section. So for some of our more serious buyers who come to this section of our website to conduct their business, they know that they'll be able to find our verified suppliers for whatever category they're searching in. And it's another way we can help boost the business for those verified suppliers through our site. Our RFQ market is another opportunity to get some benefits through this verified supplier program. So an RFQ market is really almost a reverse way that Alibaba to do business. So as a seller, you'll be able to proactively reach out to some buyers who have submitted some quotes into your category, maybe with a different supplier. And as these quotes are pushed to our RFQ market, our verified suppliers are going to have a priority to reach out to those buyers and assess who they'd like to conduct some business with. And having this exclusive access to this RFQ market is one of the key benefits to being a verified supplier here on the Alibaba platform. We also want to make sure we're maximizing your exposure through any search result you're appearing in through Alibaba. So as you follow along on the left here, you'll see the verified suppliers are given priority in their search rankings, making their products more likely to appear at the top when buyers are searching for their products. Not only that, but verified suppliers are also highlighted with their capabilities, company highlights, product certifications, and whatever makes the business stand out, really. So we want to make sure that these verified suppliers are as clear as could be with their capabilities for our buyers. Some additional benefits, you have your high tier traffic booster, which will give you some greater exposure when conducting business through the Alibaba platform, giving you that increased visibility on the platform to attract some more potential buyers. You also have more product showcasing, about 40 of these to maximize your exposure and obtain some more traffic to your site. And you'll also get 10 additional staff accounts for your team to conduct your business here at Alibaba. Moving on from that, our verified supplier gets to enjoy the highest level of support here from our office. So you will be backed by a team of B2B selling experts where we can customize service programs to maximize really every step of the Alibaba journey. Whether that's the onboarding experience or answering some questions you have down the line, our verified suppliers will always be receiving the top tier of support from us here at Alibaba. And then moving past this, you'll see our exclusive Verified Supplier Center, which is full of useful tools and operational tips for this group of sellers through our platform. You also get to enjoy some AI-powered product advisors to really exclusively get some new opportunities or discover some e-commerce insights available through the Alibaba platform. Past that, you'll have some VIP one-on-one coaching. We'll have somebody who's able to help onboard you through the Alibaba platform, and that same person will be able to meet with you, almost on a daily basis to help you conduct your business through the Alibaba platform. And your learning and development is available to everyone on your own team. We mentioned that you'll get 10 additional staffing accounts as a verified supplier. We want to make sure that everyone who's working on this account is going to be at a level of understanding and education to really help your business thrive through the platform. And we'll have learning and development opportunities for everyone on your team here at Alibaba. So just to recap, what makes a verified supplier the best investment for your business? You'll have some more platform exposure through our RFQ market and having the privilege to speak to those buyers before anyone else. You'll receive some high tier traffic boosters, as well as a prioritized search placement in our regular search, as well as some other sections of our website. Some other benefits include those product showcasings, where you'll get 40 additional showcases. You'll have your assessment report available to your profile so that buyers can read into that and learn more about your business, as well as professional on-site video and media. And then finally, with your verified badge as well, helping you stand out through the Alibaba marketplace. And now we're just going to hear a few testimonials from our buyers who have experience working with verified suppliers in the past. So Heather over here on the left, you'll see that when working with verified suppliers, she's found that the independent third-party companies doing these factory visits gives her an inside look into who the supplier is. It makes it more comfortable to do business with them. Whereas in the middle, you'll understand that this Dr. Sayed Ibrahim is someone who works within an industry where certifications and quality of product is very important, and having that third-party check on those certifications gives him the comfortability to work with these verified suppliers through the Alibaba marketplace without having to do some additional research on his own. And then finally, over here on the right, you'll see that someone's saying the verified suppliers might not be the cheapest products through Alibaba, but the quality you'll get through these verified suppliers is something worth conducting business with. And then finally, if you guys have any questions that you'd like answered, please feel free to put those in the chat below. Additionally, if you'd like to schedule some time to chat for after this presentation, please scan the QR code and we'd be happy to help you out.
Great. Thank you so much, Ben. So let's welcome Ameann and also Mattia back to this for the Q&A session. Right now we have some actually very interesting questions on here. So the first one I want to talk about is Dan's question. And his question is, I have been selling online locally here in the USA, but I've never tried either sourcing or selling on Alibaba.com. Kind of intimidated by the mega platform a bit. For Mattia and Ben, do you guys have any suggestions on what Dan could do to make this whole situation a lot less intimidating? I believe, yeah, you guys are muted.
I can answer to this, Jessica. As I said, I come from our office in Milan. In Europe, we are partnering with many associations and local governments that are supporting not only big companies to enter in Alibaba.com. One of the most important famous Italian seller on Alibaba.com is Barilla, the pasta producer, but also these governments and associations are supporting micro and small medium enterprises to onboard on Alibaba.com. And we, as in Alibaba.com, we are supporting micro and small companies also with educational programs. We have a program that is called ASTE, and we have a team dedicated in our customer success team to support specifically micro and small companies to onboard on Alibaba.com. Our account manager will guide you through all the features of our platform and will support you from A to Z on how to be not only to onboard, but how to succeed in our platform. We have also an educational hub that has content and that we update on a constant basis, and also we support companies on their journey. In B2B e-commerce, usually a company takes 3-4 months to set up a store and then start selling and using the platform later on. That's why probably when Ben was introducing the Verified Supplier program, he said that our program is for 1 year. So the company can actually understand how the platform works and how to use also the analytical tools that we have. Being a seller in Alibaba, you will access to My Alibaba. That is where you will find data and insights that will support your business. Many companies like Barilla, as I mentioned, are in our platform not only to sell, but for the data that our platform provides, because our real data, and you can understand, for example, the price of a specific ingredients in some markets, or you can understand the buyer's behavior. So yes, our platform is not so scary. You can, we will make it not scary for you.
Yeah, we will definitely support you through your journey, especially based on what plan you end up registering for. I have another question. I think actually maybe a few of you could help pitch in to answer, even if it's not entirely about beauty. I think maybe Ameann might have some insight. Says, would it be possible to discuss sourcing B2B products? Specifically, I'm researching costs to source and ship construction materials to US. Unlike consumer products, construction materials come in large quantities and have heavy weights, requiring container shipping and warehousing. These things can make using non-US based construction material suppliers prohibitively expensive. So maybe we can talk about this more as like, how do you source hard to find or hard to ship materials? Does anyone have any like insight?
Ben, you want to take it, or I can go?
Sure, I can hop into this one. So, we do have a program called Alibaba Match, specifically to help people with their sourcing efforts, especially if you're unfamiliar with sourcing from overseas. So when it comes to logistical needs or really any specification on an order through sourcing, this Alibaba Match team is basically an in-house sourcing expert team we have that'll help you get associated with up to 8 different suppliers who would have the capability, whether it's estimating out your logistics all the way to your warehouse here in the US, or any other specifications you may need from a supplier. We can basically give you a short list of the best suppliers that we have through the platform who are looking for new business as well. And then when it comes to logistically, bringing some goods overseas, you always want to make sure that you're getting those logistics in terms of the, your CBMs, your cubic meters, how many containers you may be working with, and just get an overall sense of the weight and size so that you can proactively do some research on your own to talk to some logistics providers to get an understanding of what that total cost might bring it into the US. But for someone who's a little unfamiliar in the space, we do have our Alibaba Match program as well, which is really streamlined to help someone out in your situation.
Yeah, I think that's great. Any other thoughts? There's like one more for like asking about looking for buyers for like for the supplier of sugar, I guess, which I feel like, does anyone have any thoughts about how this person could look for buyers proactively?
Well, our platform supports any company to have its own storefront. Companies can post unlimited products. I want to mention that we are not a commission-based platform. We are a membership-based platform, so we do not take any commission on your sales. If you are a company that is new in the B2B e-commerce, we support you to create your storefront and to post the products. The platform is translated in 18 languages automatically, but you can also input your translation. So if you're focusing to find buyers in specific countries, our platform is the right tools. And also we have different advertising possibilities, and you can, for example, the keyword advertising, you can buy a keyword, for example, you're looking for a sugar based products. You can buy the keywords in a way that the buyers can immediately, when they search for these products, will immediately get into your profile. But you can also target buyers based on the market, based also on which kind of buyers you want to reach. And in this keyword advertising is pay by click, so it's very also easy to change any marketing strategy in our platform. And we're launching also new ways in the next months, new ways to promote specific products in our platform. So for example, Oscar, you asked on what about opportunities of selling in United Arab Emirates, you can also focus your TWA plan in that specific market.
Yeah, I think that's also, really helpful in answering one of Oscar's other questions, which is how to get leads. I think that the one great thing about Alibaba.com is that when someone contacts you through an inquiry, you get to keep those leads and you can continue to contact them if you would like to build that business relationship. Okay, so there's one more about an anonymous attendee asks us, can Alibaba.com help us to sell our products also in the EU? We are a Slovak manufacturer and distributor of medical devices. So, any thoughts?
For sure.
Europe.
Medical devices are one of the most important categories in our platform. You can schedule a meeting with our direct sales team, and you can scan a QR code here in my background and schedule a meeting. We will go through your products because some products cannot be onboarded in our platform, but you can also check Alibaba.com. You go into medical devices and you can find also some example of medical devices. Our European team, we have a buyer team that is supporting the onboarding of qualified buyers from EU in our platform.
Okay, and then there's also another question about whether or not the platform is appropriate for software vendors, which is an interesting one. Does anyone have any thoughts?
Yeah, I can take that one. Definitely appropriate for software vendors, to stay in line with what we've been talking about today with logistics and supply chain solutions. This is a product where there might not be a physical thing you can put your hand on, but it's a service that's greatly in demand through the Alibaba platform. So this type of value-added service or, really anything with a non-physical product, we like to think of the Alibaba marketplace as a sandbox opportunity for you to sell within. So there are a lot of people selling software or some solutions through the platform, and there's definitely a big opportunity for you to sell into there as well.
Yeah, I think that's really great. That's one of the cool things about, I think, our platform is those kind of non-tangible services as well. And finally, last one is kind of similar to the first question. It's like, I'm new on making business online. How can you help? How can we help you? Well, I think first you could scan one of the QR codes on the screen right now, and we can talk to you for free. But is there any other suggestions you guys have to wrap this up?
I would say, Mattia touched on the ASTE program. Everyone who joins the Alibaba platform is going to be invited to participate in that so that we can educate you to be the best seller you can be through the Alibaba platform. And that's a really key part of our onboarding experience at Alibaba. We don't want to make sure you feel like you're feeling like you do a little bit right now. We want to make sure that you're continuing to get educated and you're comfortable in the space that you're selling in. So that AST program will really be, from our perspective, the best way to educate you as you join the Alibaba platform.
Yeah. Additionally, actually, this leads us wonderfully to here is if you want to also just have another closer look in different topics for e-commerce and stuff, feel free to register for either the upcoming 2 webinars that are coming up. I mean, Mattia, do you want to talk about either of these?
Yes, then we have 2 upcoming webinars on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. East Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. The first one will be with Spate. You can browse Spate on spate.nyc. And we will talk about empowering businesses with data analytics. As I said, our platform is not only a platform to sell products, but to get valuable data and insights. We have our major companies, very big companies in our platform that are using our platform not only to sell, but also to get this data, to understand this data, and make a very sales strategy and marketing strategy based on our data. And on August 2nd, we will have an incredible speaker, Robin Ruskin. If you don't know Robin, she is one of the founders of the CES in Las Vegas. And we talk about the evolution of digital experiences. She just opened this new company, virtual event group, after many years working with the CES. And I had a pleasure to host many webinars with her, and she is one of the brightest minds in our industry.
Really wonderful. So yeah, if you want to register there, you can also find these like events also on Alibaba.com's Eventbrite. So like, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to also like watch those case study videos, like where sellers can talk about their experiences, similar to what Ameann actually mentioned before, you can always subscribe to a YouTube channel account to learn more and to stay updated with what we're doing here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot. Hi, bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.